Good grand rising and happy freaking Friday to all of my beautiful souls out there listening today. I am coming live to you on this podcast from my bathtub today because I write the fucking rules to my own rulebook. How about that? Today was the day. I'm sure as a human that deals with real life and navigates being a human, right? Having a soul in this human body, I'm sure that by now you probably have some sort of awareness that the way our bodies work with extreme anything is our bodies need to adjust to how fast we move, right? Our bodies don't move as fast as our minds do, right? And with that being said, I have been on a high for over a week now. An extreme dopamine-filled high. I have experienced the divine feminine connection that I have been yearning for. I have experienced deep, transformational, reflective work. I have experienced ridiculous fun expressing my inner child. I have experienced all of the things that light me the fuck up in an overabundant way, for literally, it's nonstop. It's still going. I'm still in that right now. I'm still in the technical high. I'm still receiving and experiencing these things that I have been begging universe, God, to show me in my reality. Bring me the shift, I've been saying. Please, I'm doing everything you've asked of me. And I just felt like I was getting breadcrumbs. And that's exactly how the universe works, by the way. God, universe, they give us samples or sample platters, if you will, or even just a couple bites of sample platters that we say we want, to see how serious we are about what we've said. I have said with such seriousness and such emotion and passion, I want to be seen. I want my reality to shift. Meanwhile, the truth is I was still scared to be seen. Visibility doesn't happen if you're really scared of it. And the shifts in my reality, they were happening. I just wasn't giving them enough credit. I wasn't giving the breadcrumbs that were happening enough credit. And here's the story I told myself. Here is why. This is the story I created, okay? I told myself that I'm tired of the breadcrumbs from the universe. Okay, that's the gift, by the way, that I've been asking for. But I would say I'm tired of only receiving the breadcrumbs from the universe because it feels a lot like the abuse that I've experienced throughout my life. Good job, Pam. Good job. Way to make the past relevant in the present and keep me exactly where I didn't want to be. I'm grateful for the breadcrumbs. I can say that now, of course, because I've received the overflow, right? Had I just been grateful for the breadcrumbs, who knows how much faster the overabundance in my reality could have shifted. We got to be careful with the stories. We got to be careful with all of the knowledge that we do have can also sometimes become the very crutch that keeps us in our own way. Think about the word crutch, right? Crutches. Think about what crutches are. They're meant to be temporary. You break your leg, you get crutches, you're on crutches for what? 4 to 8 weeks, depending. But at the end of that time, when you're healed, we don't need the crutches anymore, right? We get rid of the crutches. And the crutches, if we were to carry around the crutches after we were healed, what would that be? It'd be a burden. It'd be a distraction. It'd be a nuisance. It'd be in our fucking way. You'd be like, get these fucking things out of my way. Because now the very thing that was helping us, right, is now stifling us. There are so many things in our lives that we use, myself, I'm speaking for myself here, as crutches in the moment, because we need them. We need that in the moment. What we tend to forget is that we don't need them indefinitely. We're like, oh my goodness, this crutch, it helped me. I gotta keep this crutch. It did so much good for me. But the truth is no. It did good for you in the moment that you needed that crutch. You don't need the crutch anymore. Speaking to myself, Pamtastic on purpose, does not need crutches anymore. And here is where two things can be true at the same time. I do not need crutches, right? Which I perceive as kind of an extension of tangible items, right? Like that's a tangible resource for my temporary help or the aid that I need, right? So I don't need the crutches anymore. And in the same breath, what I absolutely do need still is aligned support, reflections, and connections, right? Now, I have to be very, very mindful of not allowing the support of the reflections and the connections to become a crutch that I default to relying on when things get hard. Now, again, it's always this and or both, right? It's not this or that. It's always and or both. So what I'm trying to bring to light here is that I'm very aware that I still absolutely need support from aligned, loving, safe, honest reflections of my authenticity, of my authentic self, right? In the hard moments, I may need that help. And to take it a step further, I have to be able to discern in the future where I'm falling into a crutch or stepping into empowerment, and I'm going to be more empowered by asking for help versus feeling like I can't do this alone. Do you see how that feels differently? It feels different. It feels one way to say, I absolutely cannot get through this by myself. I need help. And I also realize that once I receive the help in this area, I can then take more initiative on my own and feel more confident in what I'm doing. Versus, I absolutely can't do this by myself, and it is what it is. I'm never going to be able to do this by myself. I'm always going to need help in this area, right? That's your story. If we just reframe our story, it can serve us. We forget that reframe when we're so in it, right? When we're just so in it, the mind is working, we're in our masculine, we're trying to take action, we're doing, right? And that's all part of being human. And it's our responsibility to know an actual essential need and when it is turning into a crutch. Why am I speaking on this? Because clearly we only speak generally on things that we are experienced in or that we have some sort of, gained wisdom from, right? But again, wisdom, what does it come from? It comes from the experience. And I am in great reflective mode right now. I am in a phase of the exhale, if you will, of coming back down and getting grounded back into my everyday life, right? And it takes this part is work too. I enjoy this part of it, and also there are some challenging moments. Of course, I'd prefer to just be in the high all the time. And I respectfully honor and accept that this part of it is also necessary. The contemplation, the reflection, the getting really raw and blatantly fucking truthful with ourselves. I am in a stage in the present of really having to discern, what do I actually need more support in, right? And what am I utilizing or doing or, whatever? What am I still holding on to that's actually more of a crutch and a debilitation than support? And I'm getting it. Like, this is me figuring it out. I'm just doing it with you now. I'm just doing it with a listener. Because this is a conversation that I would normally have either with myself or with my husband or with a close friend. And even that last part, the latter, is not something that I got extremely comfortable with, ever. And I'm done with that. I want to be completely confident. Maybe not comfortable, but I want to be completely confident in being able to express where I'm at in every moment that I feel like expressing it. And that's where I'm at right now. It's where I'm at in this moment. I'm in the bathtub. It is literally my sacred place. The water always shows me what I need to see. Water is pure consciousness, in case you're wondering. It holds memory. It's crystalline, we are 70% water. Water is the magic in this realm. And so are we, because, hello, we're made of water. Anyway, my point is, when I get in the bath, or even the shower, generally speaking, any confusion that I was having the illusion of dissipates. Not always. I still need to seek out external reflection sometimes. But I always get some sort of gut hit clarity that I wasn't seeing or that I was avoiding. And that's what happened for me today. I had some emotions and some triggers and some old stories come up for me. With the evolution of this podcast, as you can imagine, there are some old stories coming up for me. There are some old patterns presenting themselves to see if I am going to choose what I always chose, or if I'm going to choose to move differently this time. And the proof is in the pudding, obviously, because here I am, showing up, expressing, sharing, from the fucking bathtub. Because messy is the new perfect. And I am gonna get that tattooed on me. Watch. It's gonna be my next tattoo. Mark my words. So, if you're here, once again, as always, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Extra VIP thank you if you've stayed from beginning to end. And of course, feel free to support me if you feel called to, however you feel called to do so. I greatly appreciate that, with love. And that's all I have for today. And I will be back with more as it comes. For now, stay purposeful, stay present, and keep shining that light. I love you. Have a beautiful day.